All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now. We got a Detroit hip-hop legend in the building. We got the one and only Mastamind live on the line. How are you doing this evening?
Yeah. What up with you, Immortal? Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. You know what I mean?
I gotta say, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for just giving us a little bit of your time this evening, man. Like, I grew up on your music, man, and I have to say, it's most definitely one of my absolute favorite acid rap MCs of all time, man. You most definitely do what you do.
Oh, shit. I appreciate that, homeboy. I really do. Hey, man, I just love the people. You know what I mean? I'm glad it touched somebody. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, most definitely. But I want to take you back to the beginning, though, Master. I want to take you right back, and I gotta ask you, what actually inspired and sparked you to get into the music industry initially?
Shit, man. Other music. You know what I mean? Other rappers. You know, around my time, man, it was Run DMC. You know, once they start spitting that "Here we go" shit, here we go. I was a hip hop fan immediately. You know what I'm saying? So I just followed them. I followed LL Cool J. You know, all that kind of shit. Fat Boys, Beastie Boys. I was just a true fan. I was running to the record store every Tuesday to cop the latest shit. You know, with any little money that moms gave me. So you know, I was a fan. So you know, that turned me into an artist. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? So because I started having things to say, you know what I mean, and ideas or whatever. And you know, plus I was kind of a poet in school. You know, when I was younger, you know, I was writing short stories in school when I was younger. And shit, it was just inevitable for me to, you know, put words together with beats and rhymes. So it's all good, man. That's how we first started.
And as well, man, you were actually you are one of the first MCs actually on the streets of Detroit back in the day, man. And I said to ask you, when you actually first started in hip hop, like how did because obviously you have like one of those like different types. You're doing like the acid rap and whatnot, man. Like how did your city actually take it when they first heard you flow?
Yeah, man, they didn't take it well. You know, not at all. You know, when you're trying to do some shit like, you know, acid rap, the wicked shit is, you know, frowned upon. You know, and that's how it was, you know, 25 years ago, whatever. You know, people was hell of a open to it, but they didn't expect, you know, rap to go in that direction. So man, it was rough, man. You know, starting with my team, you know, Esham and TNT and James Smith, man, we just put our heads down, nose to the grind, man, and just did the shit, you know, and we just kept carving our own lane. And, you know, instead of me going to people, they came to me. So that's how that worked out.
And also as well, in the early 1990s, you were actually a part of the hip-hop trio called Natas Man. And I was wondering, what's the story behind that phenomenal group? And of course, how did you actually meet the other two members?
Shit, Natas, man, I met Esham and TNT back in Osborne High School on the east side of Detroit. You know, Esham was the most popular cat in school. He was the most popular rapper in school, you know what I mean? So he was still going to school, doing his music thing and entering talent shows. And I would see him, you know, and at the same time I would see TNT running right with him, you know what I mean? So they was running together before I even was in the circle. So, you know, one day, hey man, I decided to give Esham a cassette of me doing 3 demos. You know, I went to a studio specifically to do some wicked shit to give to him. And, man, I finally seen him in the hallway, slid it to him, and he called me in a couple days, like 2 days, and asked me, do I want to make a record? You know, and, man, I said, hell yeah. And, you know, we got to working, and one day we was all sitting around the studio making the first record, and Esham wrote down Natas on the paper, and we was like, what the fuck is that? You know, and he said, that's the name of the group. And I was like, oh, okay. And the rest is history, man.
And I gotta say, most definitely, you most definitely tell he enjoyed that tape, man. And I gotta say, you guys made history, just like you said, man. After that, it was history.
No doubt.
But also as well, man, my favorite record is actually your guys' second studio album release that actually dropped on January 8th of 1994, and it's actually titled Blaze for Me. And I've always wanted to know, man, what's the story behind that phenomenal record release?
Man, blasphemy is, it is just what it is, blasphemy against whatever, the whole rap game. We just wanted to still set ourselves apart. When Natas came up on the second album, I mean, we was in our groove after the first album, We was in our groove. And Blasphemy just displayed that, as an early kid, because I was like 20 or whatever. I didn't know what I was gonna do after the first record. I didn't know how I was gonna sound, or whatever. But like I say, we got in a certain groove. We started knowing what we wanted to do. Esham was dropping records. Shit, Esham had dropped several records between our two Natas records. So we was riding the groove with Esham. He was doing real good with his shit. And like I say, Blasphemy came together so seamlessly. We was working on the third album before the second album came out. And the third album was Do You Believe in God? And Blasphemy just happened. Honestly, it was a blur. You know what I mean? It just happened. And I'm glad it did, man. It came out beautiful. We started working with instruments on Booyah on one of the tracks. We just experiment with shit, and it came out good.
And I still gotta say, my favorite track on that record is actually I'm About to Do Some Dirt, man. And I gotta say, you guys did phenomenal on that. And I love the fact that you guys actually took a West Coast hip-hop sample of It's Funky Enough by the D.O.C, man. And I gotta ask, like, what actually made you guys decide to actually use that particular sample for that song?
Man, Esham, hey, that was all Esham's idea. He was a great producer. He is still a great producer. Esham did a lot of sampling. That's the thing people don't realize. He did a lot of sampling and put that into our wicked shit. He put that into the acid rap. He sampled so much, man. It was just sounding so beautiful. Anything he put together, and when it was time to make it, I'm about to do some dirt. He told me it was my time to shine on this. So I did what I had to do, and I'm glad he liked it at the time, and I'm glad I liked it. So, it was a beautiful thing. I love that track.
And also, as well, you actually had the opportunity to perform at the 11th and 12th annual Gathering of the Juggalos. I was wondering, what was that experience like taking part in one of the biggest festivals to ever grace hip-hop? Because, like, the Gathering of the Juggalos is actually something that's, like, done every year, man, that's just so huge within hip-hop.
Yeah, man. The Gathering is just what you said. It's an experience. I wish all artists could go through that section one day, go through that route in their career, because it shows you that you ain't shit without the fans. It was just a beautiful experience, actually. I was out there touching hands and rubbing shoulders with people, right in the middle of the amusement park, if you have it, because that's what it was set up like, an amusement park. Got the Ferris wheels everywhere, the fucking midway games, and the food. It's ridiculous, and you got all these stages. I was blessed to rock the main stage one year, and I took it all in. I took it all in, rocking in front of 10,000 people. It's amazing, dog. You know what I'm saying? And the way Juggalos receive Natas and Mastamind and Esham, it's amazing. So we felt like we was right at home. I did it. I thought I did it about 3 years, but it was just a hell of an experience, you know, and shout out to the clowns for that, man, you know, 'cause they gave me that opportunity, and they knew I was well respected in the game, and they gave me the invitation, man. So I hope everybody can get an invitation like that one time in their career, and it's a beautiful thing, man.
And I heard multiple stories, man, that the crowd is just absolutely freaking insane, man. Like people that perform there have never ever performed in front of a crowd like Gathering of the Juggalos, man.
It's ridiculous, man. I mean, people throwing shit, but it's out of love. They're not actually throwing it at you. They throwing it with you, so to speak. So to speak, you know, a lot of people can't handle that kind of shit. You know what I mean? They probably think it's a mob thing or whatever, you know. But it's just love of rap music, wicked rap music.
And you also actually wrote a verse alongside Bizarre of D12 and Jeremiah Ferguson for their song What's Right. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about that experience, and what was it like just working alongside two other fellow Detroit hip hop legends?
Yeah, man. Hey, I love collabing with people, especially from my part of town. So, man, it felt like it was natural, you know what I mean? But when I did that track, it was a new thing for me, kind of, because, you know, the track was so different, you know, so guitar heavy. It felt like some old Natas shit at the time, and man, I had no problem jumping on that, you know. Bizarre did his thing. It was a real hard song, and hey, man, I'm proud I did it.
Most definitely. I gotta say as well, like just being able to work with Bizarre, man. You know what I mean? He must have had, I heard he was one of those like he has great chemistry in the studio from what I heard.
Oh man, Bizarre, he's a lab rat. He works. You know, I picked up some pointers from him. You know, at a few years ago. You know, on just doing collabs. You know, I see how his hustle is. You know, and he's open to working with every artist. You know, and I took that and I ran with that. And shit, man, I've done so many collabs in the game. It's ridiculous. You know, and you know, in my lane, I've done so many fucking collabs. You know, so it's like, yeah, I picked that hustle up from Bizarre. You know, and man, that's a dope dude.
And also as well, man, in year 2020, so just last year, you actually dropped a Hell's Kitchen bonus crack EP, and I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a bit more about this phenomenal release, and of course, where can they actually snag themselves a copy today?
Yeah, man, just Acid Trap Music, AcidTrapMusic.com. Go check that out. You should be able to get the link real easy. AcidTrapMusic.com. Man, Hell's Kitchen. That was a project that Fallen Angels Entertainment brought to me. An idea, you know. I thought it would just be one EP type of thing, but you know, it turned out to be an album, and actually, it's going to turn out to be 3 EPs. One album broke into 3 EPs, which, you know, it's crazy, but it just had to happen like that. I wish it could have been one whole album to smack people in the face, you know, but it didn't pop off like that. But Fallen Angels came to me with the dopest tracks I've heard that gave me a spark, you know, man, because I was just chilling. You know, I'm just waiting on, you know, the pandemic to end and hopefully get back on the road with Esham or whatever. But man, they came at me with the greatest beats, and I just took them as they came, you know, and they just wanted the pure wicked shit that I do. So shout out to Fallen Angels for, you know, coming at me with that idea, you know, Hell's Kitchen. I took it and ran with it, and all types of shit about me cooking in the kitchen, all types of references to being in the kitchen. But it's just, you know, it's just me in the studio creating the best music I've ever created. So I just feel like I turned it up a little bit, you know what I mean?
And also going back to when you actually said, you know, you wanted to be one big slap, but sometimes three good slaps is better than one big slap. You know what I mean? Most definitely hits differently.
No, you're right. You're right about that shit. That's for real.
But I gotta say, I'm most definitely looking forward to the other editions of Hell's Kitchen, man. I gotta say, I really enjoyed that EP, so I'm looking forward to 2 and 3.
Good shit. Good shit. It's
And
actually the first EP came out a year prior. It was called Sleep Tight, Sweet Dreams, and you can get that at acidtrapmusic.com too. Sleep Tight, Sweet Dreams. It's got about 6 banging ass tracks on it, as does the bonus crack EP. So just be looking out for the third and final one. It'll be there, be at you maybe this Halloween or something like that. I've heard Fallen Angels telling me that they're going to put together a double cassette just for collectors only, a double cassette for the people as far as Hell's Kitchen goes. So we're going to see what that looks like. And more power to Fallen Angels, man. Hell's Kitchen.
And also, this year in 2021, you actually teamed up with JMP, the Pro Beat, for the song Class Dismissed. I was wondering, how did yourself and Pro Beat get connected? And of course, what was it like working on that particular release with him?
Wait, which one? Who you say?
JMP, the Pro Beat.
Oh, shit. Yeah, man. Dude. Man, people just come to me. You know, I didn't know I was on everybody's radar like that, you know, but once again, man, it's just something that happened. I didn't expect it, and shit. When people come to me with good tracks, man, that's when the magic happens. So once again, man, it's just another collab I'm proud of.
And also, as well, man, I gotta ask Mastamind, because you said, you know, the third installment of Hell's Kitchen is possibly coming out Halloween, but I gotta ask, what is next for you? Is there any projects I happen to miss? Anything else you do still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves.
Man, I appreciate Canada right now, man. I want everybody to know that I am working with a dude from Canada. He's holding it down in Vancouver. Teddy Bass. We put together some dope series of albums. We're in a group called House of Frankenstein. It's me and him. He's the doctor. I'm the monster. And it's been, I think we're on our third or fourth album. The latest one was dropped what is this? The latest one was dropped in December of 2020 called Dark Nights. Y'all got to check that out. Just hit up Teddy Bass on Instagram, BASS Teddy Bass, or at Teddy Bass on Twitter. Get at him like that. But yeah, man, House of Frankenstein is actually an annual Halloween thing we do. So y'all check that out. And man, ultimately, the latest shit I want everybody to get up on is the Ultimate Warrior double disc, my first double CD. I just completed, just dropped. We waiting on it to go digital, but we have the hard copies right now, and it's crazy with the response. That album was put together by Killjoy of Fatty's House Records. He is another cat who came at me with a project idea, and I jumped on it. You know what I'm saying? And we put together a fucking masterpiece, man. Ultimate Warrior. It's just talking about the fight that I've experienced in this game, the shit I've had to go through, the hate I've faced, the hypocrisy I've been up against, you know, and that's just like, that could be my last album as far as I'm concerned, but it's not, but I'm saying it could be, you know what I mean? That's how dope it is, and that's how I went in at it, like this was my final shit, and came out great, man. Ultimate Warrior, it'll be out there on all digital platforms shortly.
So most definitely, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first from the man himself. Keep your eyes peeled and get it, or you most definitely will regret it.
Yes, appreciate that.
But also, Mastamind, so this is the time quickly, right before I wrap things up, that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves, just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, but most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Mastamind if they're not already doing so.
Word up. Get at me on IG at Mastamind the Hellraiser. Same thing on Twitter. Same thing on Facebook. You know what I mean? Man, I just want to give a shout out, to people who appeared on my last projects. I was finally able to get Dayton Family on the House of Frankenstein album. So shout out to Dayton Family, Bootleg, and all them. I want to give a shout out to my dog Schizo. He appeared on the album with me. Dice, my Detroit brother. We got him on the track on Ultimate Warrior. Shout out to Dice and Detroit, man. Shout out to Eshawn. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? And just shout out to Killjoy. Fallen Angels. Shout out to the people who still love Mastamind. You know what I mean? And shout out to you, Immortal. It's going down, man. Appreciate you.
Hey man, you are most certainly welcome. I gotta say, just thank you for years of amazing hip-hop, man. Your music most definitely inspired and sparked millions of brains all over the world, man. So I just want to give you your flowers while I have you here and say thank you for just giving us positive and amazing hip-hop for so many years, man. And I'm looking forward to many more years to come as well.
Fuck yeah, I'm looking forward to it right with you, man. Hey, the wicked should have never died. Love you, Canada.
Most definitely, man. You have yourself a wonderful night. Thank you so much again, Mastamind.
Thank you, sir. Peace.